All right, guys, it's day 46. I started polyurethaning everything. I went to the store and just said, instead of buying those little ones, I just got a gallon of it. So started polyurethaning all the wood so it doesn't look like that chalky wood anymore. It just looks like, starting to look like wood. Um, all right, so I'm getting ready to like pretty much leave and finish like finishing trim work and things like that on the road. A few things though. One, I want to just give you guys like a little heads up on this for the solar system. I did a lot of research as much as I could possibly do while I was also researching how to do plumbing and, other random stuff that I didn't know like I knew how to do it, but not like the technical way or the professional way, I should say. So I didn't really go too in depth with the solar as far as I would like to. But with all that said, the solar system runs great. During the daytime, that inverter is awesome. But what I've come to realize is that at nighttime, I'm gonna want a smaller inverter that only is big enough to run the things that I absolutely need to run at nighttime, which is going to be just a TV, maybe a 120 light and my Blu-ray player. Nothing else here runs on 120 for nighttime. My water pump is 12 volt. My chest refrigerator that I just bought is it runs off 120, but it only runs during the daytime, which is going to be off that inverter. Nighttime it just floats because it's already so cold. It's the chest freezer. So, yeah, so I want something that like, that's not going to leach off my batteries when there's no solar coming in. And what I should have realized in the beginning is that anything that plugs in that's going to be 120 that's going to be running off the batteries at nighttime that has wires that are that big is going to leach off your system. So just be aware of that, guys. The thing's awesome during the day. It runs everything. That's my inverter. I'm going to use that to run everything all day. At nighttime, when I just want to kick back and watch a movie and I'm going to run purely off the batteries and there's zero sun coming in, I don't want to have to fire that inverter up because it leaches too much of the battery power. It doesn't, I mean, I didn't test it fully at nighttime to see how much it actually leaches or how drained my batteries get, although I should really do that. But I noticed that it was doing, my batteries um, went down kind of. One day I had a movie on with there was no the solar power was disconnected, and I kind of started making me think like I really don't want to fire up a 1500-watt inverter at nighttime just to watch 100 watts worth of TV and Blu-ray player. Not even, it's 30 watts. So yeah, nighttime I need an inverter to run that so I don't have to use that. Just be aware of that because it does leach your batteries down quicker than a small, tiny inverter with little cigarette lighter wires. All right, with that said, yeah, so I'm doing polyurethane, strapping things down. Um, I did the backsplash on the kitchen, so I got that wood backsplash. It's all polyurethane. Then I put the handles on the doors. I'm about to do latches right now, but I put the handles on. Then the the water from the water tank that goes underneath this ledge of the shower that goes towards the sink goes underneath. It used to go in front here, but I blocked it off with wood and then painted it. I'm getting ready to paint that whole section right there, whatever color I'm going to do it. But the water line goes underneath that, and then it goes through the back of that wall, and then it hits a 90-degree elbow, and then I cut a 1-inch strip out of the floor, which was my last thing to do. So I cut a 1-inch strip out of the floor, and then I went to Home Depot and got an oak saddle strip and covered that piece up. So my water is running inside the bus. I don't have to worry about it freezing. It was a little pain in the butt, a little bit of a pain in the butt to get the edges, to cut the strip out that close to the edges, because there's really no tools that do that. Circular saws, obviously the curvature of the blade doesn't allow you to get within that radius, to get to that corner. So you kind of got to like chisel it out and do whatever. But I did what I had to do. It came out good. And now the sink and everything and the plumbing is all fully finished. So I don't have to worry about that anymore. The sink is hooked up. Handles are done. I started like, polyurethaning the whole thing. So it's starting to look a little bit better. Yeah, it looks better. Got the backsplash, got my little lanterns going. I don't remember how much I showed you guys last time, but you know, I'm starting to do the mason jars and the rack. And I built this thing right here, which is another rack just for this wall, so there's no dead space. So, you know, I can keep like things on that if I want, whatever I'm gonna put on there. Got that up there. Built this door, you know. Did trim work, finished the trimming off this piece right here. So I got the nice trim work, and it's all polyurethane. Same thing for this side. Did the trim work on here. So that's all done. I mean, minus like finishing touches around the top where I'm gonna do like ropes, thin rope around the top just to cover up the seam. You know, I silicone the edge of the shower, so there's like a nice white bead right there, and I also plumbed in the tank. So the tank is all hooked up. There's a drain in here. You can see my tank is in. There's no ground anymore. That's tank. PVC piping, the rubber seal. So like if the tank vibrates, there's gonna be no like vibration on the hollow base of this fiberglass. It's a rubber. Yeah, so I mounted the tank all in there underneath the bus with a threaded rod and supports like I told you guys that I was going to. Yeah, so what else I was gonna say? Oh yeah, that's what I've really been doing, you know. And I got the chest freezer, as you can see. Yeah, like right here. I just want to cover up my name. That's why. Yeah, so there was chest freezers. I went to Home Depot, and on sale today was right there. See, 3.5 cubic feet chest freezer. They were on sale for $1.16 for the 3.5 cubic foot chest freezer Magic Chef from Home Depot, $116. It's gonna fit perfectly underneath here. So this area, which I've planned for, is gonna be the chest freezer. And when the chest freezer goes underneath there, the actual top that flips open is going to flip open through this. So once I get the chest freezer here, because it's not here yet, I bought this and I had my car with me. So I just stashed it behind the courtesy counter and came back here, and I told the lady I would be back with my truck later on. So that's what I'm getting ready to go do now. But once I do pick it back up, it's already paid for and everything, but once I pick it up, I'll put it over here, and I'm gonna cut the top of this counter out, just like I cut that sink out, and I'm gonna put the chest freezer underneath there, and it's gonna open up right through here. So the cutting board will sit on top of the chest freezer lid, and then the chest freezer will open up. I won't have to slide it out or do anything like that. So that's my plans for that. Hopefully that goes well. The top of this counter right here is 32 inches from the floor to right here to this surface. It's 32 inches. The chest freezer from the floor to the top of the lid is 32.5, which means the chest freezer lid is going to stick out just right over the edge of this counter. So once I cut the hole out, the white top will be almost look like a cutting board popping through the bottom of the table, which will be awesome because I'll just grab the handle and open it right up, and I can go into my refrigerator or freeze into my refrigerator from the top of the counter, which I think is pretty cool. Yeah, so everything is pretty much, I mean, you know, finally the sink plumbing's done, the shower plumbing is done, the water tanks are under the bus, everything's hidden away back here. My racks on here are done, you know, pantry's pretty much done. Handles on there are done. I'm starting to polyurethane everything. Compost toilet is done. I had to do a few more things with venting the compost toilet with a fan through the PVC pipe that's in the back of this wall, and it goes up to the roof. I did that yesterday. I wasn't here that long yesterday, that's why I didn't make a video. I was just here kind of like getting ideas for what I actually needed to do, because I kind of hit like a brick wall, and I was like, I'm so close to the end, it gets hard to know like what exactly you need to do next. And I started to do things that weren't really important for me leaving. So that's why I came here, and I kind of just like stood in the middle of the bus and just took notes on everything that I really needed to get done. So I finished that while I was here. So the composting toilet is done. It's got the vent, it's got the fan, It's got everything I need. It's got there's wood chips and things like that in there, cedar. I'm gonna get a bigger one that is cut to like made to fit the side of that wall with like a nice lid, and you know, dress it up. It would have like hamster wood chips in there or whatever. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing. The fireplace I have to go get right now. I'm going to get my truck. So at the same time I get the fireplace, I'm all at the same time I get the freezer, I'm going to get the fireplace. So I'm gonna do it all in one shot. So the next video, guys, you'll see will be the refrigerator and the fireplace install. But yeah, so I mean, this is what it is. I'm getting to the end, but it's starting to get cozy in here, you know. Things are starting to come together. It's still a little messy, but yeah. Oh yeah, I re-polyurethane the top of this counter because I messed it up. I So this is like glass, real glass now. I mean, it's got a ton of polyurethane on there. But I messed it up because I put these things, these mats, I put it on there too early and it like baked in the sun. And when I went to pull it off the other day, it was like stuck on there. So I just yanked it and it was like left a giant hole. So yeah, don't put those mats, those rubber mats on top of your polyurethane. I mean, I'm sure you guys know that. Like I already knew that, but you know, you kind of want to like dress the bus up and see what it's gonna look like, and you're kind of stubborn with things. And I felt it, and I was like, yeah, it should be dry enough, and knowing that it was gonna do that because I've had those mats do that to me all the time. Anytime I, you know, resurface a kitchen counter and or kitchen table and I put those mats on it, it always damages it. But I never learned my lesson. Um, yeah, so that's it, guys. Oh yeah, you know what? Let me show you guys. Let me show you the rack. And there's no point of making a video if I'm not going to show you the rack. All right. So here's the water tank. You can see like I have the threaded rods that come down, and then there's rubber all underneath here. And this is like, that ain't going anywhere. It's solid. There's something to prevent it from coming out on the top, like a clip, and then on the other side too, so it can't slide either way. But it's not like it's gonna slide anyways, but there's clips to hold it in place. Yeah, so that's it. Man. Yeah. All right, so that's it, guys. You see like the water tank is underneath there. It's rock solid on there. The threaded rods work really good. Those two bars that I cut across from the bottom to support the tank, those are from the front of the seats. So they were nice and smooth. I painted everything, as you can see. But yeah, I mean, it worked great. I threaded the rods right into those main angle irons underneath the bus that run this way. And it's like, it's rock solid underneath there. I went underneath there, put some big hardware on there, some locking washers on everything, like a ton of them, a ton of stuff to hold all that nice and tight. And yeah, it came out good. The water tank that's not going anywhere. I put rubber, as you can see, along the bottom on both beams, and then above where everywhere that it hits on the top of the tank to get pressed against the bottom of the bus, there's rubber all underneath there. So that allowed me to tighten it and like, you know, really get a good like rubber grip on that thing, so it's not going anywhere. So yeah, that came out really good. And you guys, I mean, it's starting to come together. It's starting to feel like a little bit of homely, you know? Starting to feeling that way. Still got to do the curtains. I still got to sew the curtains up and do all this other stuff. But yeah, the next thing is right now the fireplace and the chest freezer is going to be the last big thing that's going in. And then I'm pretty much cleaning stuff up and just filling the bus with food and stuff. So yeah, that's it, guys.